We're live again, the second time. Um, and we're going to read from the blog. Wasn't sure. I dove in, not a deep dive. I only got to October, October 2nd, 2023. So just a few months ago, I wrote this. And it is Sukhasana, the easy pose, meditation posture. And I'll read it in just a few minutes. It was between this and the other day I wrote about, yesterday, as a matter of fact. No, I think 2 days ago. I wrote about bluebirds, and I keep meaning to read it, and I just haven't got around to it yet. But I will. As I keep mentioning, I have like 25 years worth of stuff that I've been keeping on my blog between this and another blog, um, the original one, that I still like to write in. I get set in my ways on some things. You get that comfort of familiarity that just going to that blog for 20 plus years and writing, it's become home. So when I started a new blog that I could get monetized, I post there and I share that. But when it comes to writing, I go to my original blog. So let's get right into reading. I guess I have to stick with reading about the yoga posture, as that's what I put in the title. My other choice is to edit, and I never edit anything. Um, so here it goes, guys. I'm going to try to read it nice and slow. My first asana of the day is almost immediately from bed, just moments after awakening, and it's also the longest held, up to half an hour or more, and never less than 20 minutes. This is Sukhasana, or the easy pose, and it's my posture for meditation. Really one of my first asanas ever learned as a child. Legs folded comfortably under me for long duration, no body parts complaining. We naturally sat this way as children, at ease with our bodies and the world, having not yet acquired any deep aches of body or soul, completely comfortable with who we are. Sukhasana feels like a return to innocence for me, home. A few years into my meditation practice, no longer skipping sessions or even days at a time, but committed now, vowing to myself that I would sit until my life had changed to one that felt more worthy of living. It wasn't enlightenment that I was after. Back then, it was just felt like survival, that I was running out of time to be a functional adult. Joy wasn't even in the equation. I was simply hoping to belong. My commitment soon led to longer meditations, and with that I would discover limits to my body, being unable to sit in more advanced meditation postures for very long, and even returning back to an easy pose would cause my knees and back to ache well before my session ended. So with this, I turned to a meditation bench, sitting Zen style, in diamond pose, comfortable, back straight and knees free of pain. For the next 2 decades or so, I meditated in this position and reached some amazing layers of self-discovery here. No longer concerned with mere survival or even fitting in, I came to find a true belonging within my body, being at home and at ease exactly where I am. And then not long ago, maybe a little past a year or so, Sukhasana began to call to me. My meditation bench no longer felt like it was the proper place for sitting. I felt pulled to return closer to the earth, firmly planted in an easy pose, accepting the initial aches until they subsided to the pleasure of sitting in the innocence of this pose. It didn't take long at all. I was called to this posture for a reason, my body wishing to return to where everything started, not just meditation, but the origins of the deepest elements of earth focused, rooted close to the ground and spine reaching long into the air. It feels like coming home. I have no idea how long the energy of this posture will last, if it will continue to hold me in this position for many more years, or if I will return to meditation bench once more. It's not really a concern. Right now, I am supported by earth and air, an easy pose of energy that courses through my body. It's enough that I've returned here, at home, for however long this energy will last. For whatever reason, Sukhasana has called for my return. Hey, my friend, how are you? I'm going to read through this once more. Your toast. I appreciate you coming by. So I like to read things twice. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Let me get this straight. So yeah, I like to read things twice. The first time all the way through, and the second time I try to break it down and go a little slower. I might step aside from the prose and put in a point. So before I start again, um, to sit in meditation, you don't need any type of yoga pose. Sit in a chair that you feel comfortable in. Keep your back straight. I don't recommend lying down because that is what we're most comfortable going to sleep. So in the relaxation of the body and the mind during our meditation, there's a tendency to go to sleep if you're lying down. You might go to sleep even when you're sitting up, which is fine. When I teach meditation, we say 4 things can happen when you meditate. You can be thinking the mantra, you can fall asleep, you can have all kinds of thoughts, distracting or otherwise, or you could slip into the gap. The gap is that silence in between each thought. It's the silence that lies beneath and allows for everything to take place. It's the silence between the notes that makes the song. The gap is ever present, always there, but when we meditate, we begin to notice it, and the space grows longer, and we actually drop into it. We don't know when we're there because the gap is the absence of thought. There's no recognition. There's just that deep joy of being home. So don't worry about where to sit when you meditate. Find a comfortable spot. Keep your back straight. Close your eyes. Unless you're doing a Zen meditation, you keep your eyes open. But I don't teach Zen meditation, although I have practiced it. I teach Vedic mantra meditation. Kayla Boo is here. Hey, Kayla, how are you? Big likes. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Lewis is here again. Thanks for stopping by. So Kayla is asking how I'm doing, and I'm doing pretty well. So I'm going to work through this one more time. If there's any questions, feel free to ask. Feel free to yell at me. Feel free to tell me to read something else. Your Toast says, bro is the best YouTube Shorts streamer. 100. Well, thanks. So, here goes. My first asana of the day is almost immediately from bed, just moments after waking, and it's also the longest held, up to half an hour or more, and never less than 20 minutes. This is Sukhasana, or the easy pose, and it's my posture for meditation. Really one of my first asanas ever. Learned as a child, legs folded comfortably under me for long durations, no body parts complaining. We naturally sat this way as children, at ease with our bodies and the world, having not yet acquired any deep aches of body or soul, completely comfortable with who we are. Sukhasana feels like a return to the innocence for me. It's home. So Sukhasana is a simple cross-legged posture. It's used for meditation. It's not the lotus pose. It's not the half lotus pose. We're not contorted into any position of discomfort. It's the way we sat in kindergarten, our legs crossed. Man, when we were kids, it was so easy to sit in that position. We were at ease, not just in our body, but we were at ease within the world. Everything was natural. We didn't think the way we think now. We didn't think, am I fitting in? Is everything okay? Do people like me? We just belonged. Or we lost the ability to sit like that. Not because we got older and our body grew less flexible. It's because our minds became complicated. We were always thinking of all the busyness of the world, of all those little things that kept drawing us away from the comforts of our body, from the comforts of the soul. We kept thinking about all the stuff we had to do. We kept thinking about other people. We were concerned on what other people thought about us. And our body responded. We grew inflexible, unable to sit in the easiest position possible. Sukhasana, easy pose. When you get used to it again, it feels like coming home. We're returning to that innocence that we lost as children. So, this is the second stanza. A few years into my meditation practice, no longer skipping sessions or even days at a time, but committed now, vowing to myself that I would sit until my life had changed to one that I felt more worthy of living. It wasn't enlightenment that I was after. Back then, it just felt like survival, that I was running out of time to be a functional adult. Joy wasn't even in the equation. I was simply hoping to belong. My commitment soon led to longer meditations, and with that, I would discover limits to my body, being unable to sit in more advanced meditation postures for very long, and even returning back to an easy pose would cause my knees and back to ache well before my session ended. So with this, I turned to a meditation bench, sitting Zen style in diamond pose, comfortable back straight, and knees free of pain. For the next 2 decades or so, I meditated in this position and reached some amazing layers of self-discovery. No longer concerned with mere survival or even fitting in, I came to find a true belonging within my body, being at home and at ease exactly where I am. It's the amazing thing about meditation. You know what? You do become more focused, you become more successful, you become more creative. Those are all side effects, happy side effects, but the true gift of meditation is you just learn to be comfortable. You be comfortable in your body, you're comfortable with how you look, you're comfortable with how you speak, act. You're even so comfortable that you come to YouTube and you look in a camera and you read weird stuff with a smile on your face as you stumble through some words, pronouncing words that you wrote yourself, mispronouncing words that you wrote yourself. You're just comfortable. You're comfortable with your awkwardness. You're comfortable with who and what you are right here without having to do or be anything different. And it doesn't take long to reach that. Now, of course, I've been meditating for well over 30 years. And honestly, it feels like a blink of an eye. It feels like I just sat down in Sukhasana, easy pose, and opened my eyes, and it's 30 years later. And I wonder what happened to all of my long blonde hair that I had back then. Those days are over. So, third part. It's not very long, guys. And then, not long ago, maybe a little past a year or so, Sukhasana began to call to me. My meditation bench no longer felt like it was the proper place for sitting. I felt pulled to return to the earth, firmly planted in an easy pose, accepting the initial aches until they subsided to the pleasure of sitting in the innocence of this pose. It didn't take long at all. I was called to this posture for a reason, my body wishing to return to where everything started, not just meditation, but the origins of the deepest elements, earth-focused, rooted close to ground and spine reaching long into the air. It felt like coming home. So Sukhasana is a wonderful, wonderful pose. It is my first yoga posture of the day. As soon as I'm up out of bed, early in the morning, it was 2:50 in the morning this morning, um, I am in Sukhasana, meditating. Usually 30 minutes, sometimes more, sometimes 20 minutes. Um, and then I'm up and I'm doing some yoga, make some coffee, and I sit and write. I wrote this, again, it was back in October, and it was probably about 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning, drinking my coffee. Meditation really unleashes that creative streak that was within all of us. And the amazing thing is that it's not a creative streak that urges you to compare it with anyone else's. I don't have to put something up and say, I wrote this, and compare it to what anybody else wrote. I don't need to make a video and wonder who's going to watch it, who's going to like it. You just do it. You do it for the sake of creativity because, in essence, you are a creative entity. The one thing that you were put here on earth to do is create. And it doesn't matter what. That would be your dharma. That would be the purpose, the reason of existence itself. Here's the thing. I don't know much about physics, quantum physics. I love reading about it. Here's the little thing that I know. Everything started that we know of in a singularity of existence, a tiny, tiny particle, smaller than any particle that's ever existed before, and there was nothing else. Somewhere, that particle got an urge, something, the voice of God, who knows? Brahma, I love the term Brahma, whispered to that singularity, expand. And with a great whoosh, not a big bang, but a whoosh, the universe came into being and expanded. The amazing thing, there was no time, there was no space. Before there was a need for it. The universe created time and space as it was needed and just kept expanding and expanding and expanding. And that was our origin. That's who and what we are. We are literally made of the stuff that was created at that moment that the singularity came into its expansion. That was the single greatest act of creativity ever. And we are part of it. And it's not over. We're still whooshing. The big whoosh is still continuing. So how can you not be creative? And how can you not find a way to express it? My friend, let's see. I don't want to miss any comments. Love how true you are. TBH. I actually don't know what that means, by the way. But I appreciate it. And my friend Leo said, comfort is good. Really interested in learning some basic meditation. I will definitely help you. Just let me know. And teachings, but can't seem to get a groove for it, brother. Don't know exactly what to do or how to tips. I will definitely help. Seems to find more comfort in actually sweating than sitting. What can I do to make meditation a little more accessible for me? To be honest, thank you, Toast. I appreciate that. Leo, I can definitely help. For a living, I teach meditation and breath work. One thing with your burpees, it's yoga. Yoga, burpees, it's all the same. Yoga means to yoke. That's where we actually get the word yoke. In Sanskrit, it means to join together. It's the realization that that nothing is separate in existence. There is just this reality, life. We could say God if we want. We could say love if we want. Doing the yoga asanas, which is just a small part of yoga itself. Yoga is a vast field. The asanas are just one aspect. And it's using the body to develop that subtle energy to be able to sit for longer periods of time. So when you're doing your burpees, you're actually doing yoga. You're coming to that realization. And now you're getting the urge to sit in meditation. The two aren't opposed to each other. That strenuous activity isn't the opposite of sitting in silence. It's actually just an extension, one thing leading to the other. The key with meditation, don't try to meditate. It's the effort itself that is blocking meditation. Sit in a comfortable posture, sitting up in a chair, hands on your lap, on your knees, palms open. You can use the Vishnu mudra, touching, where you can have your hands sitting like that, upside down. And your spine straight, eyes closed, focus on the breath. You can begin with counting the breath. Breathing in, count to yourself, 1. Breathing out, 2. Go up to 10. If you make it to 10, start over at 1 again. Nice and easy. Here's the thing. You're probably not going to make it to 10 before you get distracted. Distraction's a part of the game. Your mind isn't supposed to be silent. The mind thinks. That's what the mind does. We're not dealing with the mind. You're counting the breath to distract the mind so that what's greater than the mind, your essence, who you are, consciousness, awareness, settles down. The greatest secret that you reveal when you're meditating is you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness of your thoughts. So how can you be affected by thoughts? You, who you are, who you truly are, can't be affected by thoughts. Awareness is never affected by that in which it's aware of. Ever. So you always go back to awareness. Always go back to awareness. So you sit and you count the breath. As you get better, you can count the breath, breathing in, breathing out, 1. Breathing in, breathing out, 2. When you get even better, drop the count and just note, breathing in, breathing out. What you could do if you wanted, when thoughts appear, simply label it, thought, and then go back to the breath. That's the very basics of meditation. It's actually the beginning Buddhist meditation. Do that for a bit, and then we'll work with, I'll give you a mantra, a primordial sound mantra. That's what I teach. And that is the vibration of the universe upon the moment that you came from the unmanifest spirit to the manifest form. Just like the Zen Heart Sutra. Emptiness is form, form is emptiness. So you're using the mantra to return back form, back to the unmanifest, to the formless. Let's see. Leo says, well, mind blown, brother. I'm actually practicing without knowing. Thank you for that. What info? Good. I'm glad you like it. When you're doing burpees, you're doing burpees. And I've watched you do burpees. So, that's what you're concentrating on. That's where it's leading. Everything in yoga, there's 8 limbs of yoga. And you're starting with the ethical foundations, non-harming, not lying, not stealing, not hoarding. You go to personal observances, cleanliness, surrender. There's 5 of each. And then you go to breath work. You're getting some breath work in because you're breathing hard. You're doing burpees. Followed by the physical postures. Again, you're doing burpees. You got that covered. Followed by withdrawal of the senses. That's limb number 5. That means turning within. When you're doing burpees, you're not looking at your watch. You're not checking your phone. You're simply doing burpees. You got that covered. The last 3 deal with meditation, concentration, absorption, and then bliss consciousness. And that's when everything's flowing. That's when there's not you doing burpees. There's just motion. Simply motion. There's not anyone doing burpees. You've long since vanished. You've given yourself away to the sheer joy of being in motion. So, the path of yoga can be as simple as doing 20 minutes of burpees. We don't need to complicate it. Of course we do. That's our specialty. We complicate everything. The whole thing that what I'm reading is about is returning from that complication, getting back to the simplicity of just being comfortable, being able to sit in that cross-legged position like we did when we were kids and not giving a shit about anything else. Comfort and joy. So this is the last little section, and then we're going to call it a night. I have no idea how long the energy of this posture will last, if it will continue to hold me in this position for many years, or if I will return to meditation bench once more. It's not really a concern. Right now, I am supported by earth and air, an easy pose of energy that courses through my body. It's enough that I've returned here, at home, for however long this energy will last. For whatever reason, Sukhasana, easy pose, called for my return. And that's it. Leo said, my man, I actually learned something new today. Thanks to you, brother. I really appreciate the insights. Stay strong, bro. Have a great day. You too. Thank you. I appreciate that. And we're done for the day. Hey, guys, if you don't mind, like, share, subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm supposed to say that. I've been told the process of growing your channel begins with asking people for support and not be afraid or embarrassed to ask. So, like, subscribe, share, all the stuff that everyone says. Hey, it works. So, that's it. And I'm happy to help, Leo, anytime. Eric Lapointe, am I pronouncing that right? French, right? Says nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll see you guys later. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be doing some burpees in the morning, and we'll be talking again in the afternoon. Eric says yes. Good. I seldom ever get names right, but since my name is Eric as well, the first part was pretty easy for me. Let's see. Yatos said good burr. Thanks. Yatos, I appreciate you being here. All of you. Eric, Leo, Lewis, I appreciate you stopping in again. Second time today. Kayla, I appreciate that as well. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, we'll be doing some burpees. Take care, guys.